All right, everybody. Green Legion Radio's Unhappy Gilmore Show coming to you live from the Back Porch Saloon in Westchester, Ohio. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's been a couple of weeks we've been trying to get this going here, but finally got it scheduled right. Hope everybody's doing all right out there, out in the interwebs. So wherever you're listening from and whatever service you're using, I usually recommend YouTube, but whatever you're comfortable with, pull up a chair, turn up the radio, turn up your volume, use the company dime, whatever you want, as we try to get you through the end of day 3 of this week's hostage situation and welcome in tomorrow, which is Friday Eve. Last week, you guys dealt with me being pretty much under the weather still. We had we had a flu in the house. We had a bronchitis. It's been a hell of a week. I'm back up to full strength, except for a little bit of a cough. Family's doing well at home. Just hope that those little buckets of disease don't bring home any more crap from school, right? That's all you need from the crib midgets. Love you, kiddos. Sorry, I know you're listening. So, again, we finally got here. We've been trying to get it going, so if there's background noise, it is a bar restaurant, y'all. This is where we watch our games on Sundays. This is where, well, on game days. This is where you've seen me posting on pretty much everywhere, trying to get more folks to come up here and have some fun with us on game day. So this is the spot, Back Porch Saloon, 9626 Princeton Glendale Road, Westchester, Ohio, 45011. So like I say every week, everybody who can hear my voice, even if you're not in this area, like, listen, subscribe, share. Whether you live here or not, you may know somebody who knows somebody who does. Get them out here. Get them to hang with us. It's always a good time. We get the fight song blaring. You can see one flag behind us. We're still trying to decorate more around here. But without further ado, well, I can tell you that no matter what, space isn't going to be a problem. I'm looking at probably 30 tables out in front of me, and then there's a front porch area over here that we can relegate any Dallas fans that might show up. But some of this doesn't happen without support, of course. And without further ado, gentleman sitting to my right, my brother from another, the general manager of the Back Porch Saloon. Sorry, guys. Jimmy just walked in. This is the owner of the Back Porch Saloon, and he's a Bengals fan, so you'll have to excuse me. Nobody. But to my right, the general manager of the Back Porch, my brother from another, Mike Solon. How you doing tonight, my man?
Good, sir. How about yourself? Thanks for the intro.
Yeah.
So this is the bar that we hang out. We all kick it. At one point in time, I think there were probably 20, 30 Eagles fans, but as Cincinnati is such a transient city, people come, people go. I mean, he left for a while, and so there's constantly Eagles fans coming in, coming out. It's hard to keep a strong base, especially when the Bengals all of a sudden start to do well. I don't know about this year, but when they do,
when they have their 1 year here and there,
right? Well, towards the end, trust me, we'll pick up 5 or 6 Bengals fans that are, we're their second team, right? Because that's the way that works here in Cincinnati. But that being said, I ended up an Eagles fan. I was born in England. I'm an Air Force brat, and in between my father's assignments, he would send me to my grandfather's house in East Falls. And my grandfather and my uncles were bound and determined to teach me American sports. So every time I would fly back into town, it was Eagles, Phillies, Flyers games, and teaching me the way American sports work. And so it was pretty much religion. I didn't have a choice but become a Philly Eagles fan.
Right. So unlike me, where I grew up in a state that doesn't have any professional sports team, well, except for when the Whalers were there, they're now the Whaler Canes. So we just got to choose whatever. He's a lot like you guys, so Philly-based and everything. So when it came to sports, there was really no decision. It was, well, except for a couple that we're going to get to here, right? So let's how about college football? What the hell happened there?
Right,
so we do have a couple of character flaws with my buddy here, right? We're going to get to one now, minor, very minor, Texas A&M.
So yeah, well, I lived in Arlington for a while.
Army brat.
Yeah, Air Force
brat.
My dad will fucking kill you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Air Force brat. And we lived in Arlington, Texas. My sister went to Texas A&M, and she took me to their bonfire, and I fell in love. I think it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I mean, here it is. I don't know. For those of you guys that don't know, before the Texas A&M game happens, their pep rally that night before, their engineers actually bring in cranes and they build a bonfire I think last time, I mean, it's smaller now because it collapsed and killed some kids. But back in the day, it was like 8 stories high, made with telephone poles. I mean, you could only get within 50 yards of it because it blazed so big. So I became an AM fan, you know. I mean, the 12th man, the whole 9 yards. It was awesome.
College Station, right?
College Station, Texas. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, where is that in proximity to like Dallas? Texas is so huge.
It's
not like
East Texas.
East Texas.
It's east of Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington.
So I like along 20 there, or what is it like when you cross in from Louisiana, or like?
Yeah, on your way in.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I've driven through there before. I just never.
I got you.
Know where the hell anything was.
That's all that's there. I mean,
it's just college. It's true.
Well, no, I mean, it's a lot like Penn State and Happy Valley. There's nothing else there.
Right, until game day when kegs grow out of the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. And A&M's College Station is the same way. I mean, there's Texas A&M, and then there's like dust bunnies. That's pretty much.
That was pretty much the way it was. I had to drive from Atlanta to Dallas for work, and once you crossed over the Mississippi River, I literally could have just let go of the wheel and just, as the crow flies, right? It was just dead flat, wide open. You're like below sea level. It's just, there's just nothing out there. Excuse me, still battling the cough a little bit, but
I mean that's my A&M thing, and yeah, they're terrible this year. And
it's a down year.
Together. It's fine. It's the SEC. I mean,
you're in the SEC.
They'll end up recruiting. They'll end up being fine. You know, I mean, I don't think they'll ever be one of the juggernaut schools in that conference.
Well, it was just a couple of years ago you were in that conference, too, right? And had it. You got up to like number 5 in the country.
We got to number 5. And
but you're not contending with your.
That was the year that we beat Alabama. That we gave them their one loss.
Yep.
Alabama went on to win the national championship, or they might have lost to Clemson that year.
It's 16.
I don't know. It's too many beers ago.
Right.
Too much ago.
So Keenan over here on YouTube, he wants to know, how's the food at that dive bar? Dude, I've been coming here. So, guys, so you know, this place is where I met Michelle. This is where I met my wife. And she introduced me to him. She's like, oh, he's an Eagles fan, too. You got to come with us. This place holds a very special spot for my family. Obviously, for Mike, he's been here forever. But the food here is solid, man. We come up and we gorge on Sundays, on game days. Obviously, the beer's good, too. But, the food's solid.
The food's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, well, we always say it's more fun to drink in a saloon than to eat in a saloon than it is to drink in a restaurant.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I mean, it's a eclectic crowd. I'm on 3rd generation regulars. I've been here for 23 years. You know, in February, I think we've been here for 40 years. 40 years? 40 years. In like February, March, yeah. And so, you know, like I said, we got 3rd generation regulars. I mean, yeah, we know what we're doing.
Right. Yeah, they played. So there's Sam. He says everything sounds good. So once again, I'm sure it comes as no surprise to everybody in the room there. Lou, Keenan, Russ, Sam, you know, before the show, we did a little testing to make sure that everything would sound okay, look okay, all that. I don't have all the same equipment that like Quimby and them do.
We do need like a donut light because I don't feel like my face is really like illuminated enough.
Right. You need some powder?
I do.
Right. You're getting a little.
I thought there would be makeup involved.
Are you glistening?
Yeah, I am glistening.
But yeah, once again, Super Sam always to the rescue. You guys know she's great. So the other character flaw, which I didn't know about until I think we'd been hanging out for just a couple of years.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're going to preface this being a character flaw?
I am.
But yet a certain Philadelphia team just played in the MLS Cup.
I get it. And some of these folks are happy about that. I could give a shit. I would go to. I would go to.
I will say this. I think this is bullshit that they lost in PKs. I just want to say it right now, but their strikers look like shit.
So I have no idea what he just said. So I don't follow the sport. However, you heard him mention before that he was born in England.
So my first sporting event ever was a Man United Tottenham game at Old Trafford. And so I immediately became a Man United fan, which if any of you guys follow football and understand all that, they're basically the Yankees of European football.
That much I do know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're gonna like a team, Man United was a really easy choice. Not so much anymore. Man City's kind of taking that role.
So what's the difference? Man United, Man City. I don't know what the hell it is.
You're basically talking about the Yankees and the Mets.
Oh, so Man City.
And for a long time, Man City was the Mets.
Right.
And Man United was the Yankees.
Okay, so what? Like right now, it's kind of like what the '80s were in New York, where the Mets are the toast of the town.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it now.
Well,
I'm trying to
everybody
understand.
Well, I mean, there's this guy out there in the world, I don't know, $1 billion athlete by the name of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Some of you guys know him, and Man United picked him up, and everybody thought, well, that was going to be the goddamn answer, but it's not. I mean, they've never been the same since Sir Alex, left coaching them, and it's always just been a fluctuation of Rashford and a million other players, and it just never cohesion, never gelling, and I think Ronaldo was never going to be the answer there, but
is he too much of a me guy? Is that a problem?
No,
he seems
really
like
not.
a little bit of that kind of dude.
He's just on the other side. I think it was more to put, butts in seats.
Kind of like hiring.
Well,
Jeff
he
Saturday
started at Man United.
Okay, so now we have a problem.
And
so
then he left, and then they brought him back years later after his prime, which, I mean, even Ronaldo's not prime is most players' prime.
Got it. Okay. All right.
But anyway.
So how I found that out with him, I walked in here, I don't know if it was a Saturday or whatever, I think it was a T-Dog or some shit, and I walk in, and so it's like during World Cup time, right?
Which is coming up.
I walk in, and like Billy and a couple other people had like USA shit on. Here comes this dude out of nowhere with nothing but like England.
My British flag. Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, what are you trying to do here, man?
My mother's British. My dad's from Philly. It's the one sport that I embrace my European side in because I'll be honest, until the people in this country have any idea what the fuck a pitch is, it really is never going to matter. Granted, football has come a long way in this country. Soccer, for those of you who are criticizing me at the moment.
Third world communist sport.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, Jesus, these little kids in the third world, what do they got? They've got rocks to kick. That's it.
Oh, I don't know, man. Dominicans figured out how to play baseball. What the hell's y'all? Oh, we have cricket, right? I mean,
we do have cricket.
You're right, yeah.
That's a fun sport, too. Hit the wickets. Come on.
You can kick in your wickets. Get the hell out of here with the wickets. But so that's how I got introduced to all of that with him.
Yes, because I still do support England in the World Cup.
And correct me if I'm wrong, dual citizenship.
I do have dual citizenship, yes. I do
so
have
how
passports.
How the hell does that work?
Because I was born in a British hospital.
Right.
But my father's American.
So you just get grandfathered into both?
Yes. So when I travel abroad, I have a medical card from England, so I get free medical care.
No shit.
Yeah, anywhere where I'm there.
So do you need a passport to go, or do you just go?
No, I mean I still have my U.S. passport. I got a British passport when I was younger to travel on in Europe, and I kind of got that confiscated. Yeah, and I got a passport made, and then on my way back into the country, I forgot to mail it. It was in my luggage, and I kind of got detained for having 2 passports. Like I'm some James Bond double spy shit or something, No, and here I am, some 19-year-old stoner, been
here we are
backpacking around Europe.
So Green Legion Radio's Unhappy Gilmore Show coming to you live from the Back Porch Saloon with Agent 00 Douchebag over here. So,
but it was the thing. You're not allowed to hold 2 passports from different countries at the same time.
Really?
England,
so when you
doesn't
leave
care.
here, you have to choose which one you're going to take with you?
Well, no, I mean, I don't have it anymore. They destroyed it.
Like in front of you?
When I came back, yeah. Actually, I got stopped in LaGuardia.
Of course you got stopped at LaGuardia.
Yeah, and
but the only thing they do is stop people.
And then wanted to know why I had 2 passports. And I was like, because I'm just going to be honest, the rest of the world kind of doesn't like America. And sometimes it's easier to travel around Europe on a British passport as an American passport.
Right.
You get into some situations where a lot of people out there fuck America. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I love this country. I bleed red, white, and blue. But the rest of the world has kind of
they don't like us very much. I know Canada's not a fan of us, all that kind of shit.
Right.
We looked at doing the baseball trip I was going to go to Toronto and then come down to Cooperstown. Well, and with all the COVID crap, you just couldn't. There's like this whole
let's just be honest. At some point, America's going to exhaust our natural resources, and we're going to knock on Canada's door. And Canada,
I'm not sure we're going to knock.
We need your trees.
I'm not sure how much knocking is going to go on.
Right.
He's going to be like, hey, yo, you're just kind of like, a new state.
I mean, if something ever happens, I don't think the Mounties are going to stop us.
Right. Yeah. I don't see that going well.
No.
All right. So there's some background into my buddy here. Engaged now?
Yes.
Yep. Angie? God
So,
bless her.
I did get engaged. I did find a woman to finally
Right.
see what I do.
Deal with your shit. So one thing, last week before we did the show last week, Mike called me. You guys know I was all banged up sick. He calls me and he's like, dude, you should talk about this tonight. I'm not well versed enough in what he's about to go through here. And I wasn't feeling all that well, so I just didn't have the energy. So I'm going to turn it over to him. I know you've been kind of chomping at the bit for it here, so
I mean, a little bit.
Take it away.
So talk about the Phils. Obviously we love them. I personally wasn't that upset with the World Series loss. I feel like we were playing on house money.
That's fair.
I think
Against the best team in baseball.
Had I had the expectations of being there, I think it would have hurt a little more. For sure. But I was more just happy to beat Atlanta. I'll be perfectly honest. I was good.
Yeah.
We beat Atlanta. Fuck the Braves. Life is good.
Mets didn't make it.
Yeah. The Mets choked the way that they do.
Yeah.
That was
The
awesome.
Dodgers too.
Right. That being said, here we are watching the playoffs. Everything's good. We're watching Harper and the boys do their thing. So I feel like there's an elephant in the room, and nobody's really talked about it. Everybody just kind of jumped on the wagon and was like, "Oh, this is great! Yeah, they're champagne in the locker rooms. Everybody spraying each other down." And here we are walking around singing this, dancing on my own. Really? I mean, I get kind of the theory behind it. Here we are in the outskirts. We weren't supposed to make it. We had 80-something wins. We had no business being there. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. I think we could have found a better anthem. I don't know how many people actually researched this song, or if you just blindly just sang along with it, in Center City and where they were blaring it over the speakers and in the stadium, or maybe you're in your shower. But if you actually look at it, the whole song was written by this British chick. I think she was British or Swedish. And it's about watching. Her boyfriend breaks up with her, and she's going to this bar, club, whatever, so that she can watch her boyfriend make out with this other chick, and see how it feels. And there she is watching him, and it somehow empowers her because she's dancing on her own by the side, and there's her boyfriend with his new hot chick, blah, blah, blah. So then this Swedish guy rewrites it. I'll preface this. I don't care which way your door swings. It makes no difference to me. But here's my clubhouse of my beloved Phils singing about dancing on their own.
Jimmy Bacon in the room.
While they're watching some dude, while this guy's watching his boyfriend make out with some other chick.
So the original version is heterosexual, and now the remake is like new age PC nonsense.
Right.
Got it.
And I mean, like I said, I don't care. I just found it an odd song to get everybody worked up. And then I listened to it, and it was the Tiesto mix, and I kind of had a beat to it. But I just coming from the Rocky anthems to all the stuff.
I Had a Tiger, all this stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a million things. Pick a Pantera song. I don't know. Something. I just this song just didn't get me pumped up.
You want him to play Jitterbug or whatever?
Something.
Wham.
Yeah. Wham. Yes. Something. I don't know.
So you've got written down there my biggest problem with it.
Well, right. And so, as I'm researching the song and doing the background on everything else, we come to find out how it even came to Philly. And that was because Schwarber brought it with him from Beantown.
Boston.
It was their catcher's intro song. And I guess in Beantown, they sang in their locker rooms too.
I didn't even know. I thought that was Boston's always the Sweet Caroline.
Right.
That's their thing.
Right. Dropkick Murphys, come on.
Or that. Right. Yeah.
That sounds great.
So how the hell does this become Boston's thing?
I don't know. Well, like I said, it was one of their catcher's intro song when he came up to bat. And then I guess Schwarber liked it. Whatever. I don't know. I mean, you try to tell us something, Schwarber. What are you coming into town to do? I just, I don't know. Maybe because it was easy to sing.
Oh, here you go. You're getting some suggestions here. Lou Mancini says Ace of Spades. Right?
Yes. Absolutely, Ace of Spades.
Keenan wants to hear Public Enemy Fight the Power.
Here's a little drink for Lemmy. Ace of Spades, goddamn right. Lemmy, God rest
Jimmy
your soul.
Bacon, what's up, my brother? Good to see you, man.
What I mean, am I the only one out here that really just was what? It was like, pump the brakes. What fucking song is this?
Right.
Why are we getting down to this song?
And why would you take anything from Boston?
That too.
They're the Red Sox.
I don't know, man. I really hope that song just kind of dies after this one, and we come up with something better.
Like a 1 year thing. With
it was good.
Yeah.
It was fine. Let's move on. We didn't win the World Series, so that song can't be played again.
Right, like right. Wash all the bad off. Right.
Get rid of the juju.
So speaking of your Phils,
yes,
you weren't upset.
I wasn't upset. I was a little surprised
that the way it went down.
Right.
After the home run tirade.
The bats went cold, everything else.
Yeah.
You know, Wheeler's dealing. Obviously, he's getting a little hot water.
What did you think about pulling? I thought that was a way too quick. Now, I'm not questioning Topper. He pushed all the right buttons all year.
So they pull Wheeler and they put, what's his name in? God damn it.
I forget.
I can't think of his last name.
Where the hell's Chris Sacco?
Yeah, I know, right? It's not Alejandro.
Guys, if you help, if you, oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a great arm. He throws 99, 100, 101.
Yeah.
But my thing is 2 games earlier, you put him in to get Nola out of a jam, and he completely screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
And they hit him. They knew what he was coming. They hit him all over that park.
Yeah, they did.
And blew it up.
That's what the Astros do.
So, I'm like, how do you put him in again, knowing that they already know how to hit him?
Well, so I mean, I think the middle relief was an issue, right? Like, where's he going to go? Was it? Would you rather see? I would have rather he didn't pull Wheeler. I would have let Wheeler pitch,
right,
and try to get out of it. And then is Syndergaard? Yeah. Is Syndergaard the guy? I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
you can second guess it all you want. It's kind of rough to second guess Topper after the whole year.
Right.
I mean.
Fired
Girardi. The team's a dumpster fire with Girardi. What, 21 and 29?
No, Rob should have been up for Manager of the Year.
Oh, the fact that he's not is a travesty. That's disgusting. The fact that he's not and Brian Roberts is again. I don't care how many freaking times the Dodgers win 105, 110 games.
Right.
The only year they didn't choke was the COVID season.
Right.
That's it. The rest of the time, they are one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess
I don't agree
17,
with that.
they went to the World Series but lost to the cheating Astros.
I can't wait to see what Rob does with the team next year.
Alvarado, there you go.
Alvarado, thank you.
There it is. Lou Mancini. Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Lou. And absolutely, Alvarado deals. I get it. he's got a great arm,
dude.
But they obviously knew how to hit him. There was obviously, whether there was a tell in his delivery, whatever it was, they knew how to hit him.
Well, anybody who listened a couple of weeks ago when the Yanks got knocked out, and I went berserk on the entire franchise. The devotion to analytics by the Yankees are the poster child for why that shit doesn't work when your complete philosophy is analytics based.
Right.
What the Astros have done so well is they've balanced it. Yordan Alvarez is kind of an analytics driven player, but they have a bunch of scrappy guys in there too, like a Bregman. As much as I hate him, Altuve. I can't stand that little. They're playing Boston.
He's the leftover of the cheating team.
There's a couple of them. Bregman was in there too.
Those are the 2.
Yeah,
those are the 2 left. And
Verlander.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Verlander was there too.
Yeah, but I look.
But past that,
all of these folks know that nothing that happened this year had anything to do with the cheating.
No,
okay, that was a 2017
right.
and 2019 thing, not a 2022 thing. Right? Yankees choked.
No, they did the best
Yankees lost. Okay, I can't call it a choke because the Astros were the number 1 seed. We were number 2. Right. So when you lose to a better team, you didn't choke. You just got beat by a better team. Which I think is kind of the same thing that happened to the Phils. I wanted it for you guys, and they all know it too. I was sure. I was totally on your side.
We talked about it. We texted about it. We lost our minds about it.
Even just I hate the Astros, obviously, but just you're my friend. These people are my friends. I wanted it for you guys.
Yeah.
So to come up after that big 5-homer game, dude, and then just no hit the next night. The no hitter was a surprise, but the fact that they contained your offense didn't shock me. Come on, this is a pitching staff that pitched to a 2.9 ERA throughout the course of the regular season in the Houston Astros. They're the most complete team in baseball.
Yeah.
It just took them a little while.
Well, I was just happy we took 2 from them. I'll be honest.
I really wanted to see a Game 7. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because anything can happen. The ball bounces the wrong way and it changes the whole
thing.
There's no time.
That's it. What's his name in the outfield doesn't make that catch. We win game 6.
There was nobody on that.
No, there was.
That was
When Schwarber hit that one out.
That was
There was
talking
two
about
in the 9th.
fuckface, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna call him, McFuckface.
No, there was 2 on. It was the end of the 9th.
Either way, it's a great fucking play.
That would have been a double. I gotta think that would have been a double.
Yeah, it's coming off the wall.
And so you score 2 there, and we win.
So where do you go from here? Right, Topper's back. He's your guy.
Yeah.
Your pitching staff, you need back end help.
Yes.
Right, but you're gonna have Wheels and Nola at the top. So and then Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk about
Well, and that's the other one, man. Why not put Suarez in? Suarez fucking dealt all the heat in his.
I like that kid a lot.
I know.
There's a lot of toughness, dude. This is like that game we came up here and watched against the Padres, dude. He was lights out that night.
Yeah, ice in his veins.
But then on the lineup side, so there's a lot of talk about Trey Turner, right?
I saw that.
I would love Trey Turner in pinch rush. I just don't think it's going to happen. We have too much supposed young talent at shortstop that we never can see.
Right.
So, but the talk is if he goes to Philly, you move Stott to second base.
Right.
You think that's a more natural spot for him?
I mean,
it's a better second baseman than the shortstop.
I don't know. Somebody was talking about Marshall coming out of center and going to second. But I don't know what you do with Stott at that point.
And I guess that's well, maybe the thought is that Stott is a more natural second baseman. If you can't get Turner, maybe that's the move.
Right.
But dude, Turner solves a lot of problems. I mean, he's a stud shortstop. He's a leadoff hitter with speed and power.
Right.
I mean, that kid is.
No,
it's easy to have a man crush on that kid.
I mean, how's he looking baseball pants? I haven't really paid attention. I don't know.
Well, I mean, anything that wears Dodger blue makes me sick. So I don't want to, I'm not going to go too far here, but Lou Mancini over here. What do we got? Bottom line strikeout student list. Yeah, I agree, Lou. And I think Mike here does too. I think the problem is that Astros pitching staff was the best in baseball.
And they just couldn't find a way to get around it.
No. I mean, the fact that you hit 5 homers in the one game against them, I was shocked. It was great to watch, but I was shocked.
Well, but they also found a tell in his pitching. That's the reason they hit 5 homers.
Well, that's what Harper had told Baum.
Yeah,
he's giving it away.
Right.
The leg kick was up higher with the fastball or whatever.
Right. This is when he does this, his breaking ball's coming in.
Yeah.
Turn on it.
Yeah. And so they did it 5 times.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Anytime the Astros get shelled. You had to love riding that wave though, dude.
No, it was fine. It was great. Like I said, but I mean, it was riding the wave on house money.
It really was. I think once you got past the first round, you were now. Chris Sack would disagree with me. He's the baseball brunch guy. Chris is a good dude. We'll try to get him on with us one night. He would disagree. He felt like it wasn't house money till you got to the series. I felt like once you got past the first round, once you exercised the Cardinal demon, you were able to play fast and loose. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, middle of August, I didn't think we were making it. I didn't, and I guarantee you, Houston's kicking themselves in the ass for giving up that game when we went down there. It got us into the playoffs. Well,
and then the big congratulations on their board and everything. I'm like, ooh, you son of a bitch! This feels like 1986 World Series. I just don't think
no way in their minds were they ever going to see us in the World Series.
No, I didn't think. I mean, you're talking about an 87 win baseball team,
right?
It's just that it was going to have to go through, the Cardinals at 93 wins, and then the Braves at 101.
Well, and I mean, you got to know that Kelsey loved watching us come in from the wild card.
Oh yeah,
and just scrappy fight our way through. Hence he's pregame just crushing beers on the field.
Well, that was. I mean, but I think that's what reeled me in. That's what's always going to reel me in. Is that electricity, right? So we're in Arizona, right? We're at Rock Bar, which is kind of like Eagles West. And I showed you the video. It's fucking insanity.
Huge bar.
This is the night before the Eagles game in Arizona. I lost my voice screaming at a Phillies game, right? Like I couldn't even talk the next day because it was bananas, dude. Just watching that electricity come off, and then there was the video that Jason, the guy that comes up here, he sent to me, or did I send it to him? I don't know. You can see like row homes in South Philly.
Yeah.
So you know where the stadiums are in comparison to the residential. So a few miles out. There's somebody in the street, and you can hear when the last out happened, the bank explode.
Yeah.
in the whole city. And then there was the Richter scale, the seismograph.
Yeah, that was proved bullshit though.
Ah, come on, man, just run with it, dude.
I know. I really wanted that to be true, but
yeah, I thought it was fun.
it's totally fun.
Keenan, hey Gilmore, I watched every Phillies postseason game, and now I'm going back to regular season me. Baseball sucks. So that's the one thing I try to tell people is, Green Legion Radio, off the heels of Green Legion, it's an equal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's tough to talk baseball with some of these guys.
No, it's fine. Well, we can flip into
Lou
football.
Mancini here. McCullers apparently did something. Yeah, that's exactly it, Lou. So he was kicking it up high. I forget if it was the fastball or the off speed where his leg was coming up higher or staying down lower, where he was tipping it. And like when you go back and watch the still shots or the video replay, it's obvious.
Right.
Like so for us knuckleheads sitting here and it's obvious, imagine what a guy like Bryce Harper's going to see.
Well, okay, I'm going to say that same token, they had Wheeler in the bullpen the day before his last pitch because he was giving off a tell.
He was tipping.
Yes.
Well, and fucking.
And that's why they hit him. Like, well, we all expected that second game, bring in Wheeler. Boom, we just won with no love.
Right.
Unexpected.
Take a 2-0
Wheeler
lead.
comes in, 2-0, going back into Philly. Game's ours.
Yep.
But Wheeler clearly also had a tell. So they were in the bullpen working with him to square up his shoulders when he was pitching for his delivery.
Yeah, trying to come out of the same arm slot. Yeah. Yep. Trying to tip your pitches. And these major league hitters will pick it up. It's amazing. Even the smallest little thing.
They better for $30 million. I mean, that's what they're paid to do.
To the naked eye, man, I don't know how half of them do it. I mean, I get it. The Stros are going to, obviously, we all know they're going to try to find a competitive advantage everywhere. But,
hey, man, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah,
sorry.
Look,
I mean,
when you're using artificial shit.
Well, okay, that's true
too far. What happened during the series where guys are tipping pitches, that's on you.
Right. I'm just talking about some gray areas in the rule books.
Dude, look, if a guy's giving a tell, that's on him.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with any of that.
You should be looking for that in baseball.
And so I won't say congratulations to the Stros because I hate them.
I will. They played a great game.
I mean, they're the best team. They were the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
From about, I'd say late June into July.
And their cute little parade of 10 blocks, that was cute. I mean, I was at the city in 08 when the Phils won it. And I'm not going to lie, I remember at 10:30, we got into town at 5:30 in the morning. Me and my buddies drove from Cincinnati overnight, cases of beer in the car, ready to go. We set up, we got into the city. We stopped at a couple places, picked up cheesesteaks. We were set up on Central Ave by, I want to say 7 a.m. with 8 cases of beer and 14 cheesesteaks ready to roll. Then it comes across the radio at 10:30.
I'd like to do that on, that sounds like an every Sunday.
Right. That's just a Sunday, right? That's just hanging out. But then it came across the radio at 10:30 in the morning. They'd shut down the subway system into the city because no more people could get street side because there were so many people in downtown Philly already by 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That people were stuck in the subways.
Well, they couldn't get out.
They couldn't get up. There was nowhere to go. So they shut down all incoming trains. There was only outgoing trains to get people out of there. I mean,
that's Philly though, dude.
I think they said it was something heinous. Like somebody could look up the stat, but I want to say it was like 3-something million people showed up.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. Yeah.
And then Houston has its cool little 10-block parade. That's cute.
There's Russ Taylor, brother. I was on the subway at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Russ says it was 2 million people.
Okay, so 2 million.
I mean, still, that's a lot of heads, man.
I mean, 2 million people street level.
Right.
I mean, they're not in apartments. They're not hanging out there.
Yeah, it ain't like the Canyon of Heroes in New York where they're throwing shit out windows. This was all literally on the street.
I mean, the people next to me on Central Ave, they wheeled up.
I remember your pictures, dude. That was.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I'm hammered taking pictures with cops. Like everybody's just singing along. Oh, it was a great time. That was the best.
Russ also wants to say congrats to Dusty Baker.
Absolutely.
I can say congrats to Dusty Baker. And who is the kid that they brought over from Baltimore? Trey Mancini, who is a cancer survivor. He gets a congratulations.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Dusty Baker in this town is, it's funny the amount of Reds fans that came out of the woodworks and were like, yeah, we want Houston to win. We wanted to win for Dusty, do it for Dusty. And I'm like, hold on. Can we flip the script and go back about 5-6 years ago when Dusty was here? and you motherfucked
Ran
him
him-
right out of the city.
They ran him right out of town, dude.
Dude, they hated Dusty Baker. I'm like, wait a minute. Just show me a text, show me a Facebook feed anywhere. You were like, oh, we miss Dusty. Oh, we love Dusty. No, you hated that guy.
Yeah, they did. They really ran him out of town.
Yes, he was the antichrist to Cincinnati baseball. I mean, they hated him. Just sitting there in the dugout chewing his toothpick. How about you create a lineup? How about you put a winning product on the field?
I am happy for him.
But yes, no, it is cool.
I am.
It
And
is
then, and then Mancini, too, like I said, the cancer
What's up with
survivor.
the weird gloves, though?
Well, he's like 70-something years old. They're bringing him back. He's coming back next year. Dude, if
I
I was
know.
Dusty, I would have rode off with a magic carpet. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
it.
I'm done.
I got my
done.
ring. I've waited my
Yeah.
whole lifetime for this.
100%.
Hey, he's coming
See?
back next year.
Yeah, because, I mean, how many guys just don't know when to quit? They
Yeah.
got nothing else.
I get it, but like this was all he ever wanted. And he got it.
But as soon as he quits baseball, he's dead.
True.
It sucks to say that.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not trying to,
probably
like-
true. His whole life has been baseball.
Right.
Like Don Zimmer was.
I mean, how many coaches have coached until
Look at Joe Paterno.
what? Well, I
But
didn't
all
want
the
to
way
bring up
that
Joe
went
Pa.
down, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
but when that, when he got canned, that
right
killed
when
him.
Joe Pa was done,
That
that
was
was it. He had nothing else to live
I
for.
think he lasted, what was it, a week?
I mean,
felt
and
like-
really, the last 5 years, he wasn't even really a coach. They
That
just
was a
ran,
figurehead.
yeah, they just ran him out in the field. Just to, here's Joe Pa.
Run is a stretch. They should come trotting out all decrepit. and
Right,
shit. Yeah, trying to give him all the credit for
Yeah,
the. For
they
the
did. They did Joe Pa dirty. I don't even want to get on that. Topic.
No. That's I don't talk about that one. It still hurts my heart.
Right?
All right, these guys get fed up with baseball pretty quick. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's get into the birds.
But yeah, let's talk birds. So all right, so these guys a lot of times get used to a rant from me at least once a week.
Dart,
So
ran it up.
I'm gonna give it to them right now.
Yeah, hell yeah, give it to him. I want it
Before-
unlubed, wrist deep.
Before we get into the good stuff with the birds, I'm gonna address something now, and it's mostly directed at Dallas fans because they're the ones crying about strength of schedule and you don't deserve to be 8-0 and you haven't
Bitches.
played anyone and blah blah
Bitches.
blah. So to start the season, the 4 weakest schedules in the league belonged to the 4 NFC East teams. You want to know who the weakest schedule of those 4 was? The weakest schedule in football before kickoff of game 1 of this year was the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Despite the fact that they won the fucking division last year. Okay? So blow it out your ass. By you idiots stating that the Eagles haven't played anyone, right, means you're saying your own team sucks.
Yeah.
Because we beat you. And no, you do not get to use Cooper Rush as an excuse when you were all ready to fillet that ginger ass because he was undefeated as a starter. I'm sorry, you do not get to use him as an excuse. No, never, not in this house. So crazy somewhere else, we're all stocked up. You don't get to boast about beating the Rams and the Bengals just because they were in the Super Bowl last year. If anyone knows an inkling about football, you know both of those teams are hot dumpster juice this season. In particular, the Rams. The Bengals are trying to right the ship, but at the time the Cowboys played them, it stunk. So no, you don't get to use that. We finished in second place in the division last year, which means our schedule is actually supposed to be easier than yours. Just so you know. That's how the NFL creates parity. Okay? Dallas fans, I know you don't know shit outside of the whole Arlington area there, but that's how it works in the NFL. They flip it upside down. So when you win the division, talking to Dallas fans here, I know all my Philly people know this. When you win a division, you then play a first-place schedule. So your oddball games, your away, all these other games are against where the other teams finished in their divisions. You play nothing but first-place teams outside of your normal rotation. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the biggest one. If the Cowboys were 8-0 right now, what do you think all of us would be hearing? We them boys.
Yeah,
We're going to the
blah,
Super
blah,
Bowl.
blah.
We're going to win it all.
Watch out,
Yada, yada,
Miami.
yada.
We're
you know,
going undefeated.
It wouldn't matter. You guys would not say a word about any schedule. It wouldn't matter if you played the Citadel every week. You'd still be boasting that you're 8-0 and you're going to win the whole thing. So, for all of you Dallas fans that can't stand the fact that we're 8-0 and you want to cry about schedules, we have, I think I still have a leftover tub of Boudreaux's butt paste at the house.
Yes.
Come stop by, apply liberally, and we can all move on. How's that?
No, I agree. That's a solid rant. That's a solid rant.
So now we're going to move on to what's really important. The 8-0 Eagles.
So
I don't really like the narrative that it was a close game Thursday night. It was if you fell asleep at halftime.
No, I mean, I don't think that was a close game. I mean, I think like the Arizona game,
That was close.
that was a close game. That was a field goal away from going to OT.
I was in the fucking crowd.
Right.
And couldn't be screaming out because my voice was shot.
I know.
That sucked.
Yes.
Yeah, but that game was intense, dude.
I mean, that kid hits that field goal, we go to OT. Who knows what happens?
And then it's like game 7.
Right.
You just don't know.
Right.
I don't think that Houston game was as close as people make it out to be.
No.
Jalen fumble in the first half, which to me was a little bit of laziness. He was carried, the ball was down here, kind of unlike him. And then Jakey misses the field goal. I think that's leaving 6 points on the table right there. You give us those 6 points back, it's an 18-point victory. And not only is it a blowout, but you've also covered a massive road spread.
Right.
Which doesn't happen. I don't care who the fuck you're playing.
Right.
So I don't feel like that game was that close.
No.
But that's been the narrative. Oh, yeah, they almost lost. They fucking almost lose. Won by 12 points.
I mean, there were enough other games early in the season that if they want to say we almost lost.
Detroit.
Yes.
The opener.
Oh, I mean, if Detroit had a timeout in 2 minutes, I don't know what would have happened in that
Jacksonville.
game.
After the pick 6.
Yeah.
Down 14-0. That was rough.
I mean, that has to come out of our mouths. Jesus.
Jackson.
You know, we actually have to talk about that.
So, I mean, there were times when we looked a little flat.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it, especially defensively. But keep in mind, it's a 4-day turnaround. And you're traveling halfway across the country with an hour time difference to deal with. This is not easy on these dudes, right?
No.
Like, you saw Jalen in his comments after the win in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's like, live it up for about 5 minutes and then pick your treatment and we're out of here.
Well, not only that, but
You know,
I mean,
like-
how hard can you live it up against that Pittsburgh team?
And they stink.
They're terrible.
Stink.
They're like mathematically, they are actually the worst team in the NFL right now.
The Colts are pretty bad.
I
Colts
know.
have the worst offense in the league. That I know.
No, I mean mathematically, if you look at statistics, right now Pittsburgh is the worst team in the NFL.
They do stink. They were bad, and then they got exploded.
They've given up what? I think they've given up a league high like 77 points.
Well, and the turnovers. The
Right.
turnovers have really killed them. Like their defense forces turnovers, but their offense
Not
just-
against AJ Brown, they don't. Jesus,
AJ Brown, they don't do it. Who is
Bang.
containing? Who is
Bang.
containing him?
that's $10,000 worth of finger pointing.
No, sh-
Oh, he got $5,000 a
I
point.
know. I mean, what? Like, come on, man.
That
That had to be the weakest.
I'd have signed
fine.
that check right on the sidelines. Like, get out, $10,000, shove it in your ass.
Yeah, but how the hell do you? I mean, how can you possibly call that taunting? It's not like he was in their face, unless
Because
he
it
said
was.
some shit. Unless he said
Because
some
it
shit.
was.
So what? He pointed at
I
him.
know, I love
Look,
it.
my point has always been, unless you're doing something so egregious that it has to be called, look, you just dogged him for a touchdown. That defense should feel bad about itself.
No, you just dogged him for the
The
third
third
touchdown.
time. Right. And then he
And
almost got a fourth one after.
And AJ Brown pointing his finger at those guys is like your dad being like,
Right.
pointing at you. Nobody wants to be
Right.
pointed
You
at.
got schooled in the driveway, bitch.
Right.
Like,
It sucks. I
But-
get it was taunting and it was a great $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
Take it all day, Brown.
So the offense, again, Jalen hurt so good. Right?
Yeah.
The fumble. Okay, I wasn't happy with it because it just looked like a lazy play on his part.
Sure.
Normally not his thing. But it's the second week in a row where they basically took away his ability to run. Pittsburgh did a good job of that too.
Right.
I think he had like 2 carries for 10 yards against Pittsburgh and 9 for 23 against Houston. But that's also now 2 weeks in a row where he's proven he can do it with his arm.
He
He
should be able to
doesn't
do his arm.
need to run. But that was one of the questions coming into the year, right?
Right.
Was can he do this
Right.
with it when you take that away? Now I get it, it's Pittsburgh and Houston, but it still happened.
I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, because honestly, I mean, if they're stacking the box, taking away the run game, whether it be Hurts, whether it be Sanders, whether it be Gainwell, whoever, if they're taking away the run game, that means you got one-on-ones in the secondary.
Somebody's spying, right? You got nobody, right? And you saw that against Houston, where Goddard had the big game, 8 catches,
Right.
100 yards, and a
Right.
touchdown.
Well, and then and then Twitter blew up Smith because they're like, "Oh, fantasy, you sucked." Great reply, kid. Screw your fantasy football.
Right, I don't care.
I don't care.
It'll be his turn next week, right?
Right.
And somebody's going to come. Eventually, teams are going. You can't just continue to let AJ Brown kill you, right?
Well,
so
I
at
mean-
some point, you're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, and granted, again, it was Pittsburgh, and I mean,
The
yeah,
defense is not that bad, though.
well, but I mean, it made me nervous every time that Hurts was shoving the ball into double coverage.
Did you see where it
Great
landed?
throws. Oh, yeah, no, great throws.
And that's kind of my thing.
Wrong.
Right?
Outside shoulder, nobody could get it but him. I mean,
The first one was a, hey, AJ, go get it, which
Right.
I'm also okay with.
well, yeah,
That's your playmaker. Go get it, right? But like you're talking about, they took away his ability. They took away his ability to run. Pittsburgh took away the run game pretty well altogether.
Yeah.
Houston just took away Jalen's ability to run.
Well,
And now he's had that problem 2 weeks in a row, and he's thrown for 500 and something yards, 6 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Like it's nuts. Nothing phases this kid.
And it's to get to that Houston game, you know, it's not to knock on their coaching staff, but what the fuck were they doing? I mean, honest to God, the running game is killing us.
Yeah, no doubt.
And all of a
We're gonna
sudden,
get
we
to
get down to the end zone, and you switch to passing the ball.
Yeah, I didn't
Thank
understand
that they did,
Right.
but the run game was. I mean, they were chewing off 8 to 10 yards.
You tell me Damian Pierce doesn't remind you of a younger Zeke Elliott.
Yeah,
He looks just like him. Runs
Kid runs angry.
dude. Yeah.
angry.
Hits like a Mack truck with that
I don't.
shoulder.
You know, and back in the day, in the Eagles history, you know, I would have said, why abandon what works?
Right.
How many times have we said that during an Eagles game? Been like, you're running the ball, you're running the ball, you're running the ball. Now we're gonna pass.
Now we're going to throw it all day long.
What?
Well, and Sirianni does have he will fall in love with it from time to time still.
And that's cool. I mean, I'm talking Eagles
In
past,
fact,
you know.
right. Andy Reid offense.
But I mean, thank God that the Houston's coaching staff abandoned the run at the end of that drive.
Well, I just kept waiting for us to pull away to the point where they couldn't run it anymore.
Well, right.
And it didn't happen. And that's where I started because Pierce was killing us. And back to Jalen for a minute though.
Yeah.
7 different receivers.
Yeah.
Right. Goddard is this week's 8 catches, 100 yards, touchdown.
Boom.
But Brown again, 4 more catches, 59 yards, touchdown. AJ Brown continues to outpace the entire Tennessee Titans wide receiving core.
Yeah.
Like they have more catches, but he's got more yards and touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right. So 43 catches, 718 yards, 6 touchdowns for Brown. The entire Tennessee receiving core, 51 catches, 658 yards, 1 touchdown.
That's why he let him out. I mean, I don't know, it's Tennessee how you let him out. But.
So I think I said it last week, and I'll say it again. If there's anyone out there who had a problem with trading those picks to get AJ Brown on draft day, please
lost your mind.
Please move to the kids' table, sit in the back, and let the adults speak.
Right.
Because you're out of your mind.
Right.
Without AJ Brown, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think we're still pretty good offense, but he's added a whole different dimension.
I mean, I gotta say at this point, I mean, in Howie I trust. I mean, it is what it is.
Did you see the clip?
Yes, I sent it to you.
That was how you said it?
Yes.
Yeah. The clip of him screaming at
on the Houston sideline. That guy's got that
You're
sign.
welcome for your first fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Howie went full Philly in Houston. I love it.
No, did you see him when he was walking back off? He looks up. He's like, yeah. Just walks off.
That guy's like, oh my God, I got acknowledged by Howie. That's
right.
awesome.
Yeah. Fanboy.
I don't know if any of you guys might have missed it, but you should look it up on YouTube. Right before the game, this guy on the sidelines got it, and he says, it said, I forgive you. Yeah, Howie, we forgive you.
Yep.
And then it has like names of receivers that sucked, and then AJ Brown at the bottom. So he makes his way to the sideline, pushes the pylon out of the way, whatever. Comes over and he's like, "Forgive me, fuck you."
Right. You're forgiven for your first Super Bowl ever. Fuck you.
And I loved it. And the Philly fans go crazy because we love to be cursed at.
And all in one move, he says all that, and then he walks over, smiles for a picture, and as he's walking away, looks back at that dude, points at him, and just goes, yeah.
That just happened.
I'm like, oh, dude, talk about soul.
I mean, right there, how he kind of sold me. Not that he hadn't sold me by what he's done with that front office. I mean, it's been nothing shy of remarkable.
I think it's proven now. Like, the problems that I think we've seen haven't been Howie. It's because I know for a while it was kind of like, is it Howie, is it Jeff? It's Jeff. Like, when there's issues, it's the owner. Right? He's meddling too much when he digs in like that. Right, he does. He sits in that freaking attic above his garage,
right,
and watches like the East-West game, and thinks, he's
he's
watching Japanese football or whatever. He thinks he's got the inside track in the NFL draft. Let Howie do his thing. Leave him alone. The run game outside of Jalen was actually really good.
Yes.
So 31 total carries. This is including Jalen, but 31 total carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sanders again, 17 for 93 in the score.
Yeah.
And then Gainwell, 422 and a touchdown. He also had 3 catches for 16 yards. I love Gainwell. It's kind of a change of pace a little bit. This is something that Quimby talked a lot about right on cue during the offseason. That the Eagles, we seem to like not so much running back, but a particular type, like a particular body type. They're all pretty much the same size. Like Miles Sanders, he's trying to hit with the shoulder a little bit. It's not a big guy.
No.
He's 5'10", like 205 or whatever, and Gainwell's roughly the same size. Boston Scott's an aberration. You just start him against the Giants, and we're fine. But like they seem to like that kind of style, and Quimby and I both kind of see it the same way. We'd like to have a little bit of thunder to the lightning, and I really thought that Trey Sermon was going to come in and fill that role.
I mean, we try to go like a Giants, like Earth, Wind, Fire type thing.
I want somebody there so that Jalen doesn't have to be the 4th and 1 guy all the time.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, ridiculously successful. The kid squats 600 pounds. But
you've also got to protect your quarterback.
You got to
protect
your quarterback.
You know, do we go for a 4th and 1 and he's God forbid, I'm gonna hit the table. Sorry, Quimby.
Quimby doesn't listen.
Does he get hurt? You know, I mean,
you can't have that.
No.
So I mean, I'd like to have that. Just somebody like Jordan Howard was that.
Great.
LeGarrette Blount was that guy during the Super Bowl.
Oh, LeGarrette Blount was great for that. He was a hammer.
I thought Trey Sermon had he had size 6'1", 215, 220, something like that. Was a little excited when they signed him. He's not seeing the field really at all.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see a little somebody can drop the hammer, right?
Well, sure.
So I don't know what's holding this kid back, or if it's just he just doesn't fit the offense the way they want to run it. I don't know, but I mean, 1 year in San Francisco, and then the Niners parted ways with him.
Right. So they saw something.
Something had to be wrong.
I mean, it didn't
I don't
fit their
know.
scheme. I mean,
you think if anywhere that would fit the scheme, like that's what the Niners do, right? They try to smash you in the mouth with Debo and fucking and now run CMC and all that.
Well, I mean, CMC, it's over. I mean, we're going to see them.
Well, I think that's your biggest problem. I don't want to talk about that till later.
I know.
I'm just looking at dude, Washington. That's the only thing I'm concentrated on.
Maybe Washington. I mean, luckily they've got nobody running against us.
Yeah, it's true. The defense. Another opponent held under 20 points. I get it. It's Houston. But again, on the road, halfway across the country, 4 days, another opponent under 20 points. It seems like it's a different guy every week. Hargrave, 7 tackles, 3 sacks, right? Except when you get to CJ Gardner-Johnson, he seems to do it every week. Him and then the 2 animals at corner, Bradbury and Slay, who still – they tend to jockey back and forth of who has the worst passer rating against.
Well, I mean, it seems too like nobody wants to throw against Slay.
No, they just don't throw that way.
Right.
We're done over here. Now, going against Houston, we had the luxury of they literally had no wide receivers. Right? Even what's his name, Cooks or whatever.
Cooks,
he didn't even play.
No.
So, TJ Edwards, another solid game. I love TJ in the middle. I think he's part of the reason why we're not seeing any Nakobe Dean, but. I mean, TJ's been a stud.
It has been.
You hold it's Davis Mills. We all know he's not the greatest. He didn't have a bunch of receivers. 13 of 22, 154, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. Defense has been solid every week, but there's a hole. There's a growing problem, and it's been going on for a month. And it's the run defense.
It's scary.
Damian Pierce gashed us all night long. But that's not the only guy who's done it.
I mean, I've said this since the beginning, as I've been watching the Birds play and everything else, at some point we're going to take a loss.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
run the table.
But I feel like it's going to happen in the second half. Because how many games have we just become anemic in the second half?
Especially that third quarter, dude.
Right.
We seem to know how to close, but that third quarter
is scary.
Is
what is being said in the locker room? You come out and it's just like, bleh.
We've talked some of that over the last few weeks on here too. So you touching on shit that it's just an every week thing. I don't know if it's lack of adjustments at halftime or if it's the wrong adjustments at halftime, but it's like every single week.
Yeah,
there's some sort of issue in the third quarter that costs us, and it makes things nerve-wracking when you just want to run away with it.
Yeah, and I do agree with Keenan, man. We have to fix the run defense for week 13.
I think you got to fix it now. So here's kind of my point with that. So, the Texans. So Damian Pierce went for 139 yards and 27 carries. Granted, he didn't get in the end zone, but still.
Yeah.
Overall, they've rushed the ball 32 times for 168 yards. A lot of you guys and a lot of other folks talking about Jordan Davis not being there. And I'm like, that's great. I'm sure that played a role in the rotation, but this has been going on for a month. We've not held a team under 100 yards rushing since Jacksonville.
Right.
Okay, that to me is a big problem. During that 4-game stretch, we're giving up 142.5 yards per game on the ground. If all of a sudden we get down by 10 late, if we can't stop the run, and this continues to be that's the game we're going to lose.
Well, that's it, 100%. They're just going to eat the clock.
So my point in the whole thing was you had 11 days off. It's kind of been a mini bye week. That should be what you worked on, right?
Yeah.
Your second half offense continues to be a problem. It's been a little bit better, but that run defense has to have been tuned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Great that we're getting after the quarterback. It's great that we're forcing all these problems, all these turnovers and stuff. But I mean, Houston, we had to know that they were going to run the ball. They had no wide receivers. Talking about Davis fucking Mills. You knew Damian Pierce was their best player. I talked it last week on this show. Just stack the box,
right,
and make Davis Mills beat you. If he does, you
right,
tip your cap,
right.
But stack the box and then blitz his ass all night long.
Yeah,
keep the linebacker there, and if he drops back to pass, blitz, go after him. And if he throws it over your head, then you know what? But trust Slay and Bradbury out there, right? I didn't beat all that much. The run game's a problem.
No,
it's
the
a
run game.
problem.
It's an ugly stepchild in their closet.
So what do we end up with against Washington this week?
So I mean, we beat Washington.
Beat him once. That was with Carson Wentz.
I know, and we beat him again this week. We do.
So this has been kind of the same story over and over again. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. We're more talented at literally every spot, except maybe Washington has the defensive line that matches up pretty well with ours. But our offensive line is really good.
Right.
So every week we're better at quarterback. We're better at wide receiver. We're better in the backfield. We're better at every level of the defense, save for maybe the defensive line. And even that would be
I hate to say it, I'm not going to wood, but I mean, Birds win this by 10.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Like, I just don't see where Washington has this is home.
Well, I mean, even I was listening to our local sports channel, 1360, and they were talking about, all these games are about to be flexed. They're like, oh my God, the NFL got it so wrong this year.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, it's about to be a flex off on the schedule.
Yeah.
The Bengals just got flexed. He's like, they were even talking about this game being possibly flexed out of Monday night. I mean, it's too late now, but.
Yeah, now it is.
But they're like, really? I mean, they're like, who wants to watch Philadelphia and Washington on Monday night other than Philadelphia and Washington?
I don't even know how much Washington wants to watch
it. Right?
I'm not sure how much Daniel Snyder wants to watch that either.
Right.
I feel like we're better at every single position. And I felt that way every single week. These guys all know it. I've said it's like a broken record. When we're better at every spot like that, and I mean, in some cases, significantly better.
Right.
Like,
well, what you got to hope and pray, though, is, I mean, Sirianni's coaching his team to not look past it, though.
I think that's where you get the veteran leadership.
Right.
Like a Kelsey, like a Lane Johnson, even to a little bit lesser extent, I think a Zach Pascal in the locker room is a good thing. He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
He's not the starter, but he brings a veteran presence. We talked about that on Right On Cue when he was calling about guys that needed to step up. I thought Pascal, when he had the limited chances, needed to be that guy. Guys are going to get tweaked. He's going to have to play.
Sure.
So veteran leadership, I think, should solve a lot of that. Slay's been around a while. Brandon Graham.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just see Kelsey just slamming face masks to the locker room.
Grabbing face. Dude, when he sat that one week, how comfortable did he look on the sideline?
Right.
Like, that's a coach, or the new mayor of Philadelphia.
Right. I mean, Oh, I mean, when he with that play where he was damn near ripping Jalen Hurts across that, or no, it was Sanders.
Where he pulled him in the end zone.
Yeah, he basically just took his helmet and just said, "We're scoring." And I know Houston wanted a flag for that, and I'm pretty sure.
Well, because I think the rule is you're not supposed to pull.
Right.
You can push from behind, but you can't get in front of him and do this.
Well, I mean, I really wasn't comfortable watching him damn near rip his head off. I mean, I didn't know if that.
What do you think happens with Miles this year? So this is his contract year, and I know coming into the year there was a lot of this is it.
See, and I don't know. I mean, okay, so we got 2 first-round picks. You're
not wasting either of those on the run.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't concentrate on college football nearly enough as I should.
Right.
So I have no idea what the running back class looks like coming out of
running
college
backs
football
are more diamond. There's nobody like a Saquon Barkley or a Jonathan Taylor or a Nick Chubb. There's nobody like that coming out.
Right.
It's a better quarterback class this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
there's no way we're taking a quarterback.
No, God no.
Right.
God no. No. I mean, you might see us trade out. I would use that depending on how bad New Orleans gets. I would use that first one. That thing goes up high enough. I'm taking the fucking offensive line.
Yeah,
give me some depth there, dude.
Well,
right tackle is going to be a problem in a couple.
Nobody's ever mad at an O-line pick. I'm sorry. If you are, you don't.
It's the safest
pick.
It's the safest pick in the draft.
I mean, it all starts right there.
Right. You got to win in the trenches, or you trade down, right? But I mean, if we're going to go running back, you're going to see that in the third round. And the Eagles tell you that every year with their drafting too. They don't value that position. So, like when you see like Miles Sanders he wasn't the first round pick. Gainwell we got in the third or fourth round, something like that. So it's not a position that they value high. They're figuring we can just go get a guy that fits this body type and fits our offense. They don't need a receiver.
So there's no LT running back.
No, not that I'm aware of. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I don't see anybody like that. Derek, yeah. Well, so here's looking further down the road. Keenan, you're spot on, dude.
No, and that's what we're talking about. That's week 13.
Yeah, if you go into that week with this run defense playing like that, it's a problem. That kid's a linebacker.
No, he's a beast. We almost need to just take his knee out.
Well, wouldn't that be a crying shame? I'll say it. Smash his knee out. Who's the fourth string linebacker? Just torpedo yourself. We'll pay the fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's the glaring weakness, though. The thing is, I think it's going to look better this week.
That's another one game, man. Who do they have as receivers? Nobody.
Yeah, no, and that's it. So
make them throw.
Make them throw.
Stack the box
and make them throw. But again, who do they have in the backfield? Washington. Like the run defense has a chance to look a lot better this week based on who we're playing. Dameon Pierce is a freak.
Yeah,
like he's a good running back. Like it's not just because we were bad.
No, I get it.
He's
a good running back.
I don't know that Washington.
But now we go play Titans, and you're facing an elite running back.
Yeah, that's a few weeks off. I'm trying not to get.
I mean, arguably, Derrick Henry is the best running back.
You've got an upper echelon. There's an upper echelon. There's Chubb. There's Taylor. There's Henry. Saquon's made himself back into that conversation this year.
But he's glass.
One tweaked ankle, dude. Right. The whole Giants goes down like a house of cards. And they're not going to be able to hang on to that. No. Even with as great as he's been this year, they're winning those games in the fourth quarter. Like Daniel Jones is not.
I mean, how many 2-minute drives does Daniel Jones have left in?
He's just not that guy. He's just not. I'm sorry. They've also benefited from a weaker schedule,
right?
Just like we have, just like Dallas has.
Yeah, but everybody says weaker schedule. Nobody knew that the teams that are bad were going to be bad.
Well, so good, like I said earlier.
Indy was supposed to be good.
They were supposed to be better. Going into the season, it was Dallas had the weakest. It might have been us after that, and the Giants and Washington somewhere. Those were the four weakest schedules. Now, a lot of that was based on the fact that we were playing each other.
Right.
Now, going forward for the rest of the year, Washington actually has the toughest schedule. Giants are second. Dallas is 9th, and we're 10th. Again, a lot of that is we still have one against Dallas. We got two against the Giants.
Right.
Even Washington, when they're 4-5 now, when they blew this game this past weekend against Minnesota. So it's flipped, right? It's flipped around because of what's going on. But at the same time, we've been better as a division. But the Bengals have been bad. The Rams have been bad. The Bucks have been bad. Indy stinks. Right. Indy's atrocious.
Terrible. And they weren't supposed to be. I mean, everybody thought getting Matty Ice, Indy was going to be the toast of the town this year.
Well, it seems to me like Frank. I feel bad for Frank. 33-1 as a coach. Yeah. With all of that turnover at quarterback.
How many quarterbacks? 6, I think.
Yeah, I mean, one of them, Carson Wentz. Now, granted, that was his own fault. But and like we talked about before the show, I think that's what was his. I think that's what put him on the hot seat.
He threw his dick on Carson Wentz, and he got chopped off by Irsay.
And I think if he gets Wentz when he leaves, if we hold on to Foles and Wentz goes with Reich to Indy, it's probably a different story because Wentz is still probably mentally okay. They had a really close bond, those two. I think the further Wentz got away from that bond with Reich and the injuries and then his inability to just handle the pressure of Philadelphia.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden he gets to Indy and now he's got a different quarterback coach. It's not Reich stroking him.
No.
Reich can't afford to stroke him. He's now a head coach.
Yeah, he can't be that guy.
He's got way too many people to worry about other than you.
Yeah, well, what was it? DiFilippo.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the same structure. And I'm not making excuses for Wentz. He bitched out at the end of Philly and the hell with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he's lost his job in Washington. And I think that's the last time you see him as a starter unless somebody ends up getting
I
hurt.
think it's the last time you see him in.
Unless he decides to
me.
walk away.
That would be the smart thing.
He'll
unless
get a
he's-
backup job.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, if he's down to just make money and hold a clipboard, which I mean, I would be.
I would sign me up for that job.
$1 million, hold a clipboard.
Right. I mean, you need somebody who can hold a clipboard and then go in every so often, get concussed and throw a couple.
I'm that guy when my starter gets hurt and I'm like, where's my helmet?
Right.
You guys bring the helmet today?
Who are you? Or like, who am I?
Who am I?
Where are you? I'm at the game. Who are you? I'm Batman. We'll save that for another time. We're already over an hour here. Goes by quick. Yeah. Wow. Right up there.
Well, look at
7
that.
minutes. Goes by quick.
It does go by
When
quick.
you just sit here and bullshit sports. I mean,
No doubt.
I know.
I love it.
It's a lot easier when you got another person with you.
Yeah.
I think the show's better when there's another person with you. I think they enjoy it more when there's more than just my fat head up here babbling on.
Great.
But so I thank you for coming on, man. Thanks for letting me do
that's
this
why I
here,
love
man. Yeah, love you too, brother. So
I don't know how many of you guys are going to Indy, but I will be there.
Yep. We're
With this
bringing
asshole.
We're bringing a crew. So Mike and his fiance are coming out. This is the Mike I've been talking to you about that's coming to Indy. His fiance and him are coming out. Obviously, Michelle and I will be there. There's another guy that hangs with us on game day. His name's John. Him and his girlfriend don't. Him and his
It's
girlfriend.
not his girlfriend. It's his best friend.
That's what he says. I don't know what the hell's going
Whatever.
on there. He says that all the time. Whatever.
It's weird.
They're going as well. So that's at least 6 of us from your back porch crew here that'll be there. I don't know that guy, the new guy that's going to come Monday night. The guy, but he's not coming in with the Legion. He'll be out there, but he's not.
Well, I think the tailgate for the Legion might be sold out or knocking on the door.
So they don't have tickets, but tailgate they can continue to accommodate unlimited.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
but
that's
as of yesterday, there were 10 tickets left.
Okay.
So you can't get ticket. Don't quote me, but I think they're done with ticket and tailgate. But tailgate only, you can still get in.
Oh, that's good.
I guess the Nevermore has just an abundance.
It
of
looks
space.
huge. Yeah.
So I know Angie's excited about that
Yeah,
too,
she
right?
loves
Yeah,
Edgar Allan Poe.
Right.
So, yeah.
Quote the Raven.
She's dark as shit.
That's a little racist.
Well, nah, I mean, because I take it. Whatever.
All right, Cracker. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. For Mike Solon in the Back Porch Saloon, this has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Make it be worse. You could be playing like some K-pop or something.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll try to work on the music, Keenan, but there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do with that.
You can thank the metaverse for that.
The metaverse that's actually losing stock and he's firing people.
Yes.
And there's my mother stopping in again. I wish you a happy birthday yesterday, Mom, but happy birthday again. Vito, thanks for popping in late. Y'all, take care. Be good. Go Birds. We'll see you next week.